When were you outsmarted by a child?
I'm a teacher and this happens far too often, not gonna lie, considering I teach 6-year-olds. But one of my faves is when I let them play Simon Says, and one of the girls was Simon, and she plays along for a bit and then looks at me, smirks and says Simon Says let's go to playtime. And then they all went to get to their coats on. OFC, I had to make them come back, but I was trying very hard not to laugh, which definitely undermined my authority as the kids found it hilarious. Damn it. Kids are smart. My grandson loves to play Minecraft on my phone. I try to limit his in-game purchases to a couple of dollars a day. When he was about 3, I woke up in the middle of the night and he was holding my phone up to my thumb. My oldest daughter was always a bit of a defiant turd. When she was 2, I started a reward chart to help her earn some treats for doing very simple tasks, chores, like picking up all her toys. One day she comes to me and says she wants a reward. There was no chore to be done, and explained it to her. So she walks up to a shelf, knocks a toy on the floor and picks it up. She turns to me and says, "Now can I have treat?" And that was the end of the rewards-based chore chart system. She was 2. 1984. I was trading Pokemon with a kid and he was like, "I'm collecting the evolutions. I can trade you this egg." I forgot what was in it, but I remember it was something good. I decided to humor him and traded him a Jolteon. After the trade went through, he laughed and said the egg was an Eevee. Took my sister to a museum when she was around 4, they had a stormtrooper costume that was used in one of the prequel films. She asked if it was real and I said yup, if you stand there too long he might shoot you, and she shrieks at top volume, "No silly, I meant was it used in the films?" All the fucking time, they are smarter than they let on. Child me outsmarted my parents on several occasions. It wasn't that they weren't smart, they just severely underestimated my intelligence when it came to things like punishments and password protection stuff. When I was born, looking for some random item, and that stupid old "it's under their" gag. When it waged war on birth control and won. Lovely little bastard beat science before the womb. Going downhill from there. Academically? Every day by my daughter. That kid was beyond my abilities by the time she hit middle school. Sometimes I wonder how such an intelligent child could be genetically mine. That reminds me, I need to ask my wife if she was messing around with the mailman back when my younger self made a password. We had been listening to Hamilton practically non-stop, and my then 3-year-old loved the King's songs. It was great until he got super pissed about something and sang "I will kill your friends and family." I once was working with a kid who was trying to escape instructions. They pointed behind me and I looked and he ran away. My neighbor's kid sister was about 5 or 6 at the time and wanted to play an PS1 game with me, so I gave her an unplugged controller and started up the game. She never complained and seemed to even be enjoying the gameplay, but afterwards she says something to the effect of, "Okay, now you can play with this one and I'll use yours," and takes the controller out of my hand. Before the story, I was 12 at the time and 5'6" to 5'7" I believe, and a very picky eater. In fact, I almost always left some vegetable on my plate and the such. So one night we're eating dinner and I notice my little brother, 6, hadn't started his vegetables. Not wanting him to be like me, I said, "You need to eat your vegetables to grow big and tall," to which he responded, "But you haven't eaten any either and you're 5 inches taller than JJ. JJ is my black hole of an older brother who always had at least 2 plates. He's 3 years older and 4 inches shorter. I swear, like most adults do. I taught my kid that he can swear, given the circumstances and the right time. One day I'm driving and out of the blue he goes, "Holy shit." I told him that he shouldn't swear like that. Him, "Dad, this wasn't the right time to swear?" Me, "Nope." Him, "Shit." I went to go wake my daughter up once but she wasn't in her crib. I panicked and checked everywhere for her. I found her fast asleep under her crib. When I say crib, though, she was like 2 and we already had the side off. I don't know why sleeping under there was appealing at all, but kids are weird. Another story, second comment, is in 2nd grade. We had a sub and I said, "Will you change all my grades?" as a joke, thinking the class would laugh, to which she said, "Okay if you can get 100% on these 3rd grade tests." So while everyone else just messed around, I took a couple tests. She then graded them and laughed. I thought, dang it, I failed, to which she stands up and asks if I cheated. Obviously I didn't, and my mom never found out how my grades went from 70% to 100% in every subject in one day. Almost every time I play chess with my 8-year-old son. I played a chess tournament in Philly and I was paired against an 8-year-old. He in fact played with Hot Wheel cars in between moves. His parents would stop by and check on him every few minutes. Several times his attention was diverted and I caught him playing peekaboo around a column next to the table. He destroyed me and I had to resign, and the little shit skipped down the hall to find his next victim. My 10-year-old nephew was in the car with his dad, my brother, his stepmother, and me, and he asked me about why do people joke about black people eating watermelon and fried chicken. I was shocked by the question, but thought I could give him a good enough answer. I talked about stereotypes, and the racism involved with how a lot of them are formed. After a long soft answer I just had to also speak the truth and said, frankly, anyone who makes those jokes are racist and ignorant, and besides I love fried chicken and watermelon too, I do. My nephew then responded, I asked because stepmother's family were making a bunch of those jokes the other night at dinner. Nephew was able to get me to call out her family's racism. I asked him about it years later and he told me that was exactly what he was doing, trying to get his dad to see how messed up her family is. Walking with my 5-year-old son through a woody part of the UK. Me greater than maybe we will see a bear, him greater than don't be silly daddy. I expect him to tell me bears don't live in this country. Him greater than ... it's winter. All the bears are hibernating, MFW, I've been schooled. The kid on my corner constantly does this to me in wordplay. Him, hey man, did you get a haircut? Me, no, I just brushed it differently. Him, well maybe you shouldn't do that. However, no matter how I answer it, he will always have a comeback. If I said I did get a haircut, he would have asked me about their refund policy. If I said I was letting it grow out, he would have said, oh yeah, so is my sister. There is no combination of words this kid can't turn back on you in a second. He's pretty awesome that way, quick as hell. I try to give back as good as I get, but I am definitely losing. My son was 5 at the time and was really into the solar system. He was talking about one of the planets, and how long its day and year were in terms of Earth days. He even knew the exact number. I told him that I didn't think that was right, because a day on this planet was longer than a year. He argued with me about it and said he read it in a book. So I looked it up, and he was right. Venus has a year that is shorter than its day. Then my son said, I told you so, and gave me this look. From that day on, if he tells me a random fact, I know to believe him. Honestly, fuck smarter child. I am child. When I told my father there was a monster under my bed or in my closet, this motherfucker took a can of Febreze, told me it was monster spray, and sprayed the shit out of that closet and under my bed. I slept reassured that my bed and my closet was monsterless. Lamau, last night playing Words with Friends 2. I have dyslexia and my kid nephew can spell like a son of a bitch. I'm not even mad though, kid's hella smart and I can't spell very well. He deserved the win. My first real good job came with a $10,000 signing and education bonus. Check was 2 weeks late arriving and regular pay had an issue and was delayed a pay period, and I was literally living on peanut butter on a spoon and tap water as my dietary staple. My cheat food was off-brand diet soda. I finally got my check and I'm bouncing. Got $16,000 all at once. I'm so happy I'm almost crying. I throw the check in the bank, run to a big box store to grab actual groceries, and I grabbed a 24-pack of off-brand diet soda. The cashier I knew from high school started chatting and asked how things were going, and I said I had recently came into more money than I'd ever seen at that point at my new job. Kid, maybe 10, in line behind me. Then why are you buying the Walmart brand soda? Fucking destroyed.
With